Okay, so I want to talk about the pretty privilege and pretty punishment theme conversation that's floating around. Now, a while back, I made a video actually about pretty privilege and the downside to that. Like, it's not as positive as people assume. And I got a comment that just basically invalidated everything, or at least attempted to invalidate my whole spiel. And it's like, I think that's so inconsiderate. So, I don't know, I had to get down. I'll put it back up, but it's just a text overlay video. But what I want to say is for people to be saying that there's no such thing as pretty punishment. Now, okay, mind you, this is a concept, it's conceptual, but it definitely exists, just like the concept of pretty privilege exists, right? And to acknowledge that something could be a privilege, you can also simultaneously acknowledge that it could be negatives that come along with it, or it could be a burden. Two things could be true at once. So when you're a person who's deemed socially attractive, right? Normally, this isn't even a status that you place yourself. Other people validate this for you. This becomes a thing that happens or is routine in your daily life. People stick you to this category just by complimenting you or letting you know that you're an attractive person. And if you are in that category, you notice certain behaviors, positive and negative, that you experience in society. And for people to pretend like that's not, like that doesn't happen to people, like people can't share their experiences because they're attractive, is insane to me. Like, when you have people place you on a pedestal you never asked to be on, you find, and this is for me personally, previously in friendships, having people compare themselves to you, yes, verbally, out loud. People diminish your insecurities because the pedestal that they've placed you upon. These are not good things. Or even receiving things that are perceived as a benefit or privilege because some man finds you attractive when really they're just sexualizing you. Yeah, privilege. Okay. Um, I'm sure there are some positive aspects, not denying that. But me personally, I wasn't always, I think I'm a late bloomer. I wasn't always necessarily considered as attractive as I receive now in my day to day life. And honestly, the validation, of course, because you should feel attractive within yourself first, is what I would say is a positive. When you feel attractive yourself and other people are mirroring that to you, yeah, that's a good thing. But when you become itemized or treated like a commodity, and part of this is just the natural experience of being a woman, but there's another layer too where people will try to humble you. People will search hard for flaws in you. Um, the competitive aspect that you may receive in personal relationships is actually exhausting. Or even trying to differentiate if someone is interested in you, whether this is a friendship or relationship, based off of how you look. And that's a thing. That's really a thing. And you might have a genuine friendship or connection with somebody. Or let's focus on a relationship. You could have a genuine connection with this person and value the connection that you have with them. And the thing that they value the most with you is actually how you look, not the person that you are. That's not a good thing. So I don't get this whole I don't get this. Like, why are y'all doing that? And even the aspect of, right, because not everybody's gonna find everybody attractive, right? Somebody can look at this video and be like, you're not attractive. And that's fine. But even with that, right? A person who gets placed in that category and they experience that very often, if they take claim to that and they start calling themselves attractive, like me making a video like this, you're going to have people who even question that or view them as they're conceited or big-headed because now they're wearing this label. Like, oh, who deems you, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a thing too. That is a thing too. So I just don't, I don't get it. Um, One thing I noticed as a late bloomer was how people started focusing on my looks, on my beauty, and how people look to tear it down. I mean, especially, it's always because I'm an introvert in person. Like, I don't really socialize too much. I stay to myself. But especially in online spaces, I'm very active online. The majority of my social life is online. Even in strictly intellectual debates, I'll find people focusing on the way I look. And if you're a person who doesn't like to be perceived outside of the normal aspects of how you should be perceived, it's exhausting. It's exhausting for people to always be talking about the way you look. Even if it's positive, sometimes it's just you just want to exist as a person, especially if you're in people groups and it's just too much attention. So while some people may have better ways of transmuting that into a way that benefits them, everybody doesn't like that. Everybody is not constantly seeking any type of validation or, again, I said, like, it's a good thing sometimes, but to let me collect my thoughts, because what really annoys me about this particular subject is the aspect that people just don't want to hear it. And I think it's this thing of, well, you're pretty, so why are you complaining? And it's like, bro, like, when did why is Why is it so important for people to be attractive to other people? Why is it so important to the point where if people are sharing negative experiences associated with people deeming them attractive, that people are so cold towards it that they're just like, nah, that's not a problem, shut up. Like, oh, I can't give you empathy because you're considered attractive. Like, that's really ugly. And I don't mean like ugly, like physically. I don't even perceive beauty standards the same way that the average person does. But it's just ugly hearted. And I think that, I don't know, man. I think it's crazy because we already know that what's considered to be attractive ranges on a spectrum based on proximity. And that's all around society. It could be country, city, region. It just doesn't matter. And different people find different things and different types of people attractive. But on average, if a person is placed into that category and they're telling you that, no, it's not as positive as you think, then maybe it's not. I had an experience with a Lyft driver one day, this guy, and we had this great conversation. Initially when I got in, he had said that I looked familiar, and I told him he looked familiar too. And but we couldn't really figure out where from. And we had this awesome conversation, and we were talking about gaming and all this stuff. And when I got out of the car, he wanted to stay connected to me. So I was like, sure, whatever. And as we were exchanging information, I was like, it's cool to meet somebody and have a great conversation. And he was like, yeah, because rarely do pretty girls actually have anything to talk about. They don't really have smart conversations. And it's stuff like that. Like, there's also the stereotype because you are attractive that you're dumb. Y'all don't see a problem with that? People don't see a problem with that? So I just don't know. I don't get it. Like, y'all gotta stop invalidating people because you don't feel attractive. And that's something that you should work on too, because everybody is attractive. Like, you can find what makes you attractive, and that should start here first and grow outwardly. It shouldn't be a thing of whether or not you fit into this category, so now you have to tear down somebody who gets placed in a category, and they're telling you that it is not always the most positive thing. It's not roses and flowers. It's just not.